cannot say what's wrong or right. It's not hard to fool me, 'cause I'm addicted to the good life. Yeah, lead the way, I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all, to the edge of it all. So tell your good lies, 'cause I'll buy no matter what. Yeah, susceptible now before the moment flies. Ooh, so tell your good lies, 'cause I'll buy no matter what. Ooh, susceptible now before the moment flies. It's not a problem, 'cause I know what I'm getting into. Yes. Yeah, and nothing can stop me, 'cause I'm addicted to what you and I realize. Lead the way, I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all. So tell your good lies, 'cause I'll buy no matter what.
A housewife takes a lover during the day while her husband is at work, not aware that 9-year-old son was hiding in the closet. Her husband came home unexpectedly, so she hid her lover in the closet. The boy now has company. Boy: dark in here. Man: yes, it is. Boy: I have a baseball. Man: that's nice. Boy: want to buy it? Man: no, thanks. Boy: my dad's outside. Man: okay, how much? Boy: $250. In the next few weeks, it happens again that the boy and the mom's lover are in the closet together. Boy: dark in here. Man: yes, it is. Boy: I have a baseball glove. Man: that's nice. Boy: want to buy it? Man: no, thanks. Boy: I'll tell. Man: how much? Boy: $750. Man: fine. A few days later, the father says to the boy, grab your glove, let's go outside and toss the baseball. The boy says, I can't, I sold them. The father asks, how much did you sell them for? The son says, $1,000. The father says, that's terrible to overcharge your friends like that. That is way more than those two things cost. I'm going to take you to church and make you confess. They go to church and the father alerts the priest and makes the little boy sit in the confession booth and closes the door. The boy says, dark in here. The priest says, don't start that shit again.
Thank you. Been what, 2 weeks since I've been here? It's been the craziest 2 weeks in the world. The first week, I was not feeling well. I was gonna go live and I was not feeling well at all. Man, it was something had happened at the center where we were all getting sick and it was crazy there. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do this show tonight. I'm not feeling it. Then last week, I wanted to support a friend. He went live, and it was a very interesting topic that I wanted to catch. So that's 2 weeks that I haven't been here. So obviously, you guys, I haven't been here. So I decided to do a show tonight, and I will make sure I post it so you guys can catch it. But it's going to be a good one anyway. So I hope you guys are doing okay. I hope your Thanksgiving went well. You were able to see your family and friends, and I'm definitely saying this now, don't wait until the holidays to say, you love your family and everything, because it's been a wild year. Some people have left us, and people that you see them today and then they're gone tomorrow. That has happened at least twice this year. And so I want to make sure that we are telling each other we love each other as many times as possible. Make sure you liking and sharing this video, because it's going to be a wild one. I haven't been here, so we have a lot to cover. And so I'm going to try to move very quickly, but something came across my desk like recently, as maybe 10 minutes before I did this show. I looked at it and saw it, and I was like, whoa, what is this? It seems that even after Thanksgiving, after all the turkey, after all the laughs, after all the good times we've had together, now all of a sudden everybody wants to start acting up during Christmas time. And I have some things to say about it, but I want you guys to watch it. It's not very good.
Good swallow. Oh shit. Oh shit. Damn. Ooh. Oh my. Ooh shit. She hit that nigga hard. Oh my god. Look at this shit. What the fuck? Oh, she trying to yank this nigga out his drawers? Oh shit. I know him. That's okay, did you see those two?
Let me see how observant you guys are. A couple of things that I noticed in this video, outside of the idiots fighting in the middle of what looks like a mall. I want to see, type in the comment section, whether you're watching it live or you're seeing it later, type it. I want to see what you say. What is it right now that you see? Because of course it's going to be timestamped when you guys leave a post. But I want to know, what do you see? What do you see? I'm going to give you a couple of seconds. I'm not waiting anymore. I see people looking and watching and observing that don't look like the people that's in this fighting. Did you see that too? Why is it that, number one, we're always quick to tape and post fights of us in malls, gas stations, liquor stores, baby clothing stores, everything you can see with us on here fighting? And for what reason? That looked like a whole battle royal with King Kong Bundy, Earthquake, and every other silverback up in here fighting. Why were you fighting? And you just did it like it's absolutely nothing, like it's just an interruption to your day. Christmas, this is recent. Why are you fighting, sir? Why are you fighting, ma'am? And the thing is, you say, well, why is this important? Because there's nowhere this man can go and people don't look at me, because this is what we post. This is what they say. This is what you are. That's why when I was erroneously doing Black Lives Matter, people will always say, bring up something like this, but Black lives doesn't matter. And when you think about it, to a certain degree, there's some validity to that. Because if I look up and every time I'm seeing a fight, it's not with you and the people who are watching. It's with you and you for stupid reasons. It hasn't entered your mind to say, oh, well, maybe we should not be fighting like this. Maybe we should make it a private moment where we just handle our business offline. But now you in the mall in front of everybody, and you know what's being said? Look at them. It's not saying they don't care why it started. Look at them. It's an embarrassment, and it doesn't represent me or any other educated, sophisticated man out here. It doesn't represent any woman out here that's really high value. A woman that doesn't act like a silverback and a hood bandit fighting in the mall. But you guys, you get pleasure out of watching it. This is what you like, some of you. Not all of you, I hope. If you're watching this, you definitely, you know I'm not with it. But I'm trying to understand what's the reason. What reason do you have to fight like that? It's Christmas time. We're supposed to be happy. But obviously, hood bandits, they know no end. But anyway, during my time off, I went to this restaurant in Gary, Indiana called Nostalgia. I'm going to do this real quick, but this restaurant is by far one of the best restaurants I've been to. And I've been to some upscale. I mean, you know, as far as restaurants go, you know, we can always go up, up, up. But I'm saying as far as restaurants go, and I'm kind of proud because Gary, this is the first restaurant I've seen like this. The atmosphere was nice. It was really upscale. The food was impeccable. The presentation was impeccable. I mean, I really enjoyed this restaurant. If you are in Gary, this is a restaurant you want to go to. Oh, let me use this thumb. This is a restaurant you want to go to. It's called Nostalgia. It's right off the beach. It's in Miller Beach, one of the better areas in Gary as far as, you know, the people in the environment. And if you are in Gary, go to Miller Beach. You will see this restaurant is very nice. And trust me, when you see it, you can say, oh, it's about something. It looks the part from the outside to the inside when you walk in, the way they are dressed, the way they carry themselves. Like I said, the presentation was nice. It wasn't like, yeah, what you want, some macaroni? No, it's not that. It's like steak and seafood. It's like really, really good. So if you're in Gary, I think you should go to this place. I think you won't be disappointed. I wasn't. I really, really ate. And the crab cakes were very good is what I had. It was wonderful. It was a good place. So if you're in Gary, go to this place. It's really good. It's really good. Speaking of food,
my husband had me detail and wash his car today. While I was doing so, I found a pair of pink panties shoved underneath his seat. I took the panties and put them in my pocket and continued to wash his car. I would never wear panties like this just because they're just so tacky and cheap. I can imagine this bitch was itching in them. That's why she took them off. Anyway, I took them, diced them up, put them in this burrito, and hopefully he chokes.
it's amazing to me that even though it was a lot of people in the comment section saying she's disgusting and all of that, it was some, but it was quite a few that said, I should do that. If my husband or my boyfriend cheat on me, it's a good idea. Next week, I'm going to be talking about something that's it's going to be funny. It's going to be fun. But the question is, who's more toxic, men or women? Who's more toxic, men or women? Now, let me ask you a question. If you were to see a man take a contraceptive or even his underwear and chop them up and feed them to a woman, would you guys be laughing? Would you be saying, I know that's right, or he cheated, he deserves it? Would you say that? Or would you say, maybe you shouldn't be doing that? Because like I said, I think it was equal. It's like 50-50. Some women were saying, oh, that's nasty. But some was like, that's right, yes. And all this other, and egging it on. It's almost like with men, we don't get to do that. You will never see a man doing that because it would be tiki torches and everything else showing up to his house to handle their business with him. But for some reason, this was celebrated. But it wasn't the only time this has happened. It happened again.
Sink pasta with panties? What? Why are you taking your panties off, girl? Shit, we doing it like this tonight? Okay. What you doing with those?
For a strainer.
A fucking strainer for what? What are you straining?
Still a little hot, so you want to
Oh my
as
fuck.
much as you can without touching it.
You didn't fart in those today?
See that?
Not once, not twice, not 3 times.
So still
Oh my god. It's a flatulence fucking strainer. I know you at least had a little queef, a little coming out. It's been all day you've been wearing them motherfuckers. What is this even doing?
Oh, it's a really good strainer.
You just trying to get doo-doo taste up in the pasta?
Okay.
Oh, look at all the doo-doo spores all up in that. And you got a sniffle too. You got a cold. This is so fucking unsanitary. You got a cold and you're flapping around your flatulence. I'm gonna pass on.
You can't make it up, people. And like I said, in this comment section again, they were saying, "Oh my God, that's so funny. Oh my God, that's so good." And I'm sitting up here like, let this be one of us. Let this be a man do it. It would be an explosion. People would be like, "Oh my God, you're so misogyny. But you celebrate this. You can't make this crap up. You just can't make it up. But I want you guys to look at something that I saw. This is going to blow your mind to a certain degree. Because you're thinking when you get married, you're taking classy pictures. Everybody wants to be in the picture, and you have the largest party in the world, like groomsmen and bridesmaids and then ring bearer and everything else. So you guys decide to take a picture together, and it looks nice. But if you notice something that I'm noticing that I saw right off rip, that's a pretty big wedding party, though. That's a pretty big wedding party. I mean, that's a pretty big wedding party. But anyway, if you look closely, the hood bandits will always show up to be hood bandits. Because in this one, what reason do you have to do this now? It seems like the hood bandits, no matter where you are, they will show up and they will show out. They like Jesus on steroids. They will show up and show out. Why, ma'am, are you sticking your middle finger up in somebody's wedding picture? So now this is a moment that's ruined for them unless they crop you out. If you want to stick your middle finger up in my wedding, that's cool, but take your own individual photos. No, don't do it at all. This is the problem. It's celebrated. Don't do it at all. It's not classy. Your wedding should be the classiest place. It's supposed to be sacred. It's supposed to be something that's supposed to be the upscale of everything. It's supposed to have, nice dresses and nice whatever. I've seen people wear jeans and sagging jeans into a wedding. I never will understand it. I just don't. But that's not the weirdest thing I ever seen at a wedding. Imagine you get married as a man. You love this woman. You said, I am going to protect and provide for you. I'm going to be this person that you can lean on, that will lead you and everything else. And you take these vows, you look this woman in her eyes, you say, I love you, I'm going to be here, I'm not going anywhere, we're going to do this thing together, babe. It's you and I. And then you get to the wedding reception and this happens. Did he say Jesus is here? I'm so confused by this, by the way. I'm really confused, but I'll continue. So that's your wife. And she leaves you hanging to rest at the feet, the biblical term feet, not his necessary foot with the toes. You'll research that later. But she laid at the feet of another man and totally ignored you. And you, on your wedding day, that most likely in 2023, you're paying for, not their parents. But now you're looking at your wife. Now, some people say, well, it's not that big a deal. Had that been a woman like Beyonce or any of these other chicks that these dudes admire like that, and he left his wife and went and was hugged all up on her, how would that have played out? I already know. I want to know what you think. How would that have played out if that would have been a woman and the husband actually went and did that? Would she be happy, go lucky with it? Or would she be mad? And would the sisterhood support it? That's the thing that I'm seeing. I just want it equal. I just want the same energy. Because if I can't find the video, I tried to find it. I tried to find a video where a man left his wife standing there looking stupid while he went and hugged up on another chick while she was singing. I tried to find it, but I couldn't. But this one exists. Wonder why? It's the most ridiculous thing I ever seen. Not as ridiculous as y'all paying money to go see Lauryn Hill. This lady drove a rental car for 4 hours, left her kids and everything else to go see Lauryn Hill. And guess what happened? She showed up late. She thought she was going to show up late. But this is what really happened. The show was canceled. What up, D? The show was canceled. So she drove all the way 4.5 hours. For me, what's 4.5 hours? I would say a little bit north of Detroit, somewhere past Detroit. Exactly, Jeremy. Even if I did, it's not the same. But somewhere past Detroit is 4.5 hours for me. I would say somewhere, maybe Columbus, Ohio. Maybe if I was to drive, but I'm not driving there. Well, would I? Yeah, I drove to Cincinnati, but that was what, 3.5? Long story short, you drove that far to go to a Lauryn Hill concert, and it was canceled. Five-hour drive. Okay, yeah. Not for me, it wasn't. I was flying Axbird. I was gone in that car. That real car did me. No, I think I drove my car and it broke down on me, which was weird. The weirdest thing happened to my car. The air went out. Thank God I got a new one. But yeah, anyway, Louisville, Chicago is 4 hours. Okay, Louisville to Chicago is 4 hours. Okay, that's cool. But anyway, Lauryn Hill has been doing this. It's a friend of mine that's plays guitar for her. And plays guitar for her. And the other friend, well, he's an associate. My friend played in his stead at the church that he played at. So while he's going on tour, he's covering for him. But I remember saying, you know, she's going to cancel a lot of those dates on the gig. You're not even sure if this tour is going to even stay, the length of it, because she's known for just canceling tours in the middle of it. And that's weird to me that you could be an artist in this day and age and then decide that, okay, I'm just going to cancel a whole tour. People bought tickets. And now I'm interested to know what happens to these tickets. I think they are returned, but you can't return her time. You can't get her back for her car rental. And you definitely can't get her back for the children, the child care. Now, me working in child care, I can tell you it's not cheap. So if she took it to any facility, it's going to cost her some money. Hopefully she found a babysitter that would watch her children while she went and got ghosted at a Lauryn Hill concert. You just can't make this shift up. But the internet is undefeated, so they let Lauryn have it. They say, you going to the Lauryn Hill show tonight? Lauryn Hill says, nah, the internet is undefeated. And this is a shame that it's so on you that people already think that you don't show up. But you said, don't complain. Even when she's late, she said, don't complain. Be glad I showed up. But I remember one of my friends went to her concert and she showed up so late that she only did like maybe 1 or 2 songs. But you paid all this money to go see her do a full set. Now, me not being familiar with R&B, I can't tell you how long their sets are. But I've been playing gospel, and one thing I can tell you, our set's at least 45 minutes to an hour and a half, depending on where we are. And the more money that's paid, the longer the set. So I'm thinking, for us, even in gospel, our set's going to be longer because we can kind of drag it out. We can do some church, we can do whatever. So I'm thinking R&B artists, they have to sing quite a few songs to fill up an hour. I saw Lucky Day when he came out here to Chicago. I saw one of my friends, Furby of Quentin Gullich. I saw him when they played for Lucky Day over at the House of Blues in Chicago. And he did quite a few songs. And his set was like 45 minutes to an hour. And he did quite a few songs. They did those songs. There is no exhorting the people in between R&B. You don't get up there and say, oh my God, lift your hands. Come on, we're going to give God praise. That's not what happens in R&B. That's not what happens. R&B, you sing, and go to the next song. I wouldn't go see her if she did a free show. I would do a free show. I'm not going to lie to you. I would do a free show in that it didn't cost me anything. It didn't cost me anything. But if I had to spend money, I would stay away from her. That's just me. I don't like that. You know, I'm from the school of thought that, you know, people are paying to see you. You give them a good show. One or two, but gospel artists do it too. I'm going to say this, and I love his artistry. I love this gig, whatever they do. Well, when they were doing it, but I remember one time when I was in Milwaukee, and they have this thing called Summerfest. It's like one of the biggest things that happens in the summer, obviously called Summerfest. And Ty Tribbett came, and this was before the fall. This is the pre-fall Ty Tribbett. Okay, so after the fall, he doesn't go as pause in advance as hard as he did before. But now, you know, then he would definitely, he was doing a lot. He would get up there and talk. One time I did a gig and I was with Ricky. We were in Philly, I think somewhere. I think it was Philly or something like that. And Ty Tribbett was up before us. And that man got up there and talked for like an hour. I think he sang like 3 songs. He did that. Man, I didn't like that. And he did this at Summerfest. He did maybe 5 or 6 songs. Maybe I wouldn't even say 5. I think he did like 4 when they were there. And I was like, we paid money for this. So when he didn't do the songs that I thought they should do, they didn't even do their good songs. Of course, they did Victory. But I was sitting there like, what's going on? You literally took our time, and all these people came to see you, and you didn't really do much of anything. Nah, I don't agree with that. I think people should stop going to see Lauryn Hill. When they say she's on the ticket, don't go. I think when people stop going to her concerts, stop seeing her or whatever, supporting her, maybe the light may click on and she'll say, oh God, I need to get this together. But as long as people pay this money and people keep inviting her to gigs, she's going to continue, and that's just going to be the end of it. All right, we're going to get right to it because we got a lot to cover on this Preachers Gone Wild episode right now. So let's have some fun right away.
Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary. Pure and holy. Tried and true. With thanksgiving.
So, to my organist friends, I don't have perfect pitch. I have what you call relative pitch, which means I can hear something and kind of guess about where it is, and I may be I may be off. So I kind of remember some notes. I know A flat, I know that, C sharp. You know what I'm saying? I kind of know some notes. I got a little bit of it. But shout out to the organists and all the musicians that have perfect pitch. They can hear a pitch and go there. This happens to be one of them because the way he was able to switch like that, and his mode was like, whoa. This organist, I hope you guys, if you know him, please send me his name in my inbox so I can, send me his info. Because the fact that this man actually shifted, and I think this is the biggest thing. People say playing the church is so easy. It's really not. It's really not, especially playing an organ, because you have to be able to adapt to those kind of situations. Somebody, hey, give me B flat. Then they get up singing, Lord, prepare me. Now you gotta find your way there. Leonard Razor and Raekwon Hayes, and even Russell Harris, when he plays, they could be in one key. Right. And they'll start shifting. But the way that they'll find that key, even while not breaking stride, is just, to me, I'm like, Wow, that is crazy. Can't blame him. No, it was not his fault. I love the way I mean, after a while, he kind of was over it. And yeah, I think that's a misconception, though, Gifted. A lot of people think being a church musician that we just play in church. And I think it depends on the church, obviously. You know, if you play at a certain church that just do an A-B selection and they sit down, that's fine. Come over to the Powerhouse. You're going to see how hard it pause. Wow, Jesus, God.
Pause.
You see how hard it is to play there. It really is difficult to play at churches like Powerhouse because we shift so much and you have to be able to adapt to everything. Somebody may get up singing in F sharp and then you got to go to another key. And it can be difficult. But you may play at some church that sing, nearer my God to thee. And only thing you got to do is that. But at our church, which brings me to this. Next week, I'm probably going to do my show on Wednesday because we have our end of the year revival. So Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, I will be at the Powerhouse. And it's going to be crazy because I might as well, I'm thinking about getting me a room down there somewhere because I'm probably not going to make it all the way out where I live. I live about an hour away from the church and there's no way. There's no way. But if you're not doing anything on Sunday and you live in Chicago, come on down to Powerhouse so you can hear Leonard and myself and Raekwon and Dio and all of us playing. It's going to be one. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's going to be one. But sometimes when you're doing praise and worship, which is another thing in church is hard, is to sing in front of people. And for some reason in the Black church, we made it where you have to pump these people up to sing or pump these people up to praise or do all of this. But sometimes when you do it, you end up on preachers going wild.
Here, only because he made a way. He moved mountains. Guess what? He even caused walls to fall. That's all right. The enemy wanted to win.
I actually think he did. I think the enemy won at that time. I'm just being, if I could be perfectly honest with you, when you failed, the enemy was like, finish him. And you know, that's what happened. You fell down and then you fell. I mean, I'm not trying to laugh at you, ma'am. I'm really, really not. But you made this show. And my thing is this, to play it off, I'm going to go live, Jeremy. I'm going to go live, by the way. But to play it off, for me, when I make a mistake in church and it's just mind-blowing and I know I literally just lift my hands. I go into worship right then and there. Because they laugh, the band laughs at me because I'll be like, I'll be worship right now. That's how I messed up. But, you know, you just got to find an interesting way to play off. I don't think I would have jumped up right away. I think I would have laid and rolled on the ground. I would have definitely felt like the spirit was moving. And then people probably would have been like, oh, no, she was in the spirit. Or he was in the spirit. That's why he laid down on the ground. I would have did the holy robe. I probably would have started purging. I would have did a host of things. Jumping back up and making an excuse for it, I don't think that would have been on my list. That wouldn't have been on my list. They would have to bring the white sheet for me. They definitely, I would have sat there and be like, and they would have brought the sheet and I would have, you know, I would have acted like God was dealing with me. I would not have jumped right up right away. But obviously she felt differently. But, you know, in church sometimes, you know, I've been here. I've been happy at church, but I don't think I've ever really did the Baptist thing. Baptist people, y'all funny to me. Because y'all don't necessarily, well, at least in Gary, where I grew up, they don't, the Missionary Baptist Church, you start speaking in tongues, they're going to get you up out of there. They don't play that over there. But in here, Baptist Church, another thing that they do, whereas they don't speak in tongues, they will do this. Hallelujah! Yeah, Lord! Wow! Glory! Baptist people are the only people I know that seem to do that. I remember I was at a Baptist church. Sweet Holy Spirit used to do that all the time out here in Chicago. They, thank you, God. Thank you, God. If you have your Bibles, thank you, God. Let's please turn to the book of Ezekiel. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. They will go. And it's like, if it's hindering anything that's supposed to be done in church, I'm kind of thinking, is it you? I mean, God don't move like that. He wants you to hear the word. So why would he cause you to interrupt it? Now, that's just my opinion. And that's not anything that I've researched or whatever. That's just my opinion. I think if the word is going forth, back in the day, you stand in this silence, a sacred moment when the word is coming forth, because it's the word of God, especially in the Old Testament where God was actually speaking more. Yeah, I'm saying God now, but those you know me personally, I would say, yeah, he was speaking personally to his children or to a prophet or whatever. So when Yah was speaking, you were silent. But now, and you seem like in this, he just wanted to have his way. But another thing that happens in church when we're not shouting. Now, one thing Baptist people do differently from us, the Pentecostals, but everybody likes to shout. Everybody likes to dance. I think playing bump music is the thing of Black church now. You get praise CCM, and somehow we shift and go to shouting. But it's a preacher that had a problem with that. Check this out.
Dancing in the church. Dancing. Now, let me elaborate on this. This is what the churches have done now. Took the pulpit and turned it to a stage, and they had what is called praise dancing. I want you to hit the floor like you ain't never hit it before. 1, 2, 3, get it. I don't see you shout. Now, if this stuff is of the Spirit, the Spirit will not have you doing like the world. That's right. That praise dance garbage that is in your church is sponsored by the devil. Amen. And your pastor that endorses it is the devil's preacher. That's right. And the members that have it are hypocrites.
So what do you think about it? What do you think he got about what he said? The members that do it are hypocrites and everything. I don't have a problem with it. I don't know why he has a problem with the way people would praise God. I mean, it's a host of things they could be doing wrong. I don't see anything wrong with that. I think sometimes Gino, and I'm going to go pause. Being text. Okay. I hate when that happens. But I think I'm going to deal with Gino because it's a couple of things he's been doing lately that makes me wonder about him. It makes me wonder, and not so much of what you said, D. I agree with you, but something he's been doing as of late that has been rubbing me the wrong way. And for me, going to the church is actually a red flag. And some of the stuff that he's saying to us as believers or people that believe in Christ and following, we should listen to, and we probably should go home and research what he's saying. He's twists things. And so if you don't, especially if you don't read the Bible, he gonna blow you up, and not in a good way. But I'm gonna deal with D a little later. I mean, D, I'm D and he's D. Gino, I'm gonna deal with him because he's been on one. He's been on one, but not as on as this.
For me, it sounds silly. You know what I'm believing for, guys? Because we're amongst ladies. You know what I'm believing for? Some edges. I serve the resurrecting God.
Resurrecting
He
edges.
calls the resurrecting. The what?
Resurrecting edges.
He's resurrecting edges. The resurrecting edges.
Right here. He's resurrecting edges. Oh my God. Oh Lord Jesus. He's resurrecting edges. Woo. He's resurrecting edges. Yeah. He's resurrecting edges.
Hey now, you better pray touch somebody deep in their heart. You're welcome. Y'all, we're in the presence of an almighty God. Do y'all feel him here?
I've seen some things done in church that made me wonder what the heck is going on. But this is one I actually would pray for some of you. Because the edges, but really the resurrection of the edges. And that's the funny thing, because they always get on men about us with our male pattern baldness. But when it comes to the edges, they don't want you to say anything about those edges. Because the edges be hanging on like that one Fruit of the Loom dude at the bottom of Raggedy Draws. They be just hanging on like I'm going to hang on to the end. But if you say something about people's edges, if you say something about the edges, they'll have a big problem. But they'll talk about our male pattern baldness like crazy. They will. But I saw did she have edges? I wasn't looking like that. I don't be checking them out like that. But fellas, did she have edges? I want to know. Did she have edges? I mean, I'm pretty sure there were ladies and that, had the mohawk going on. It's like, yes, I did edges. But I don't know. My question is, do you think that's too far? I think that's my question. Do you think that's too far to be singing about resurrection edges? I mean, during praise and worship, oh God, I don't know. See, I don't want y'all to think that I'm this kind of person that everything bothers me or in church, but I just think that sometimes we push that envelope a lot, see what we can get away with, or some moments that we should keep sacred, we don't. We make it funny or whatever. And I just think sometimes we lose our way. Speaking of losing weight, we're going to talk about that too. But my friend D Staples, I love you like a brother. And Rod Staples, I love you like a brother. But you have made your first Preachers Gone Wild. But it's not because of you. You remember one time I was talking about how Quartet, they go hard or whatever, pause, and the old cougars be trying to get at them? Now you're going to see video evidence. Listen. That mother wasn't going to be denied, was she? The mother was not going to be denied. The mother was not going to be denied. Now, listen, I got quite a few videos of this where quartet singers going and they just go crazy. I'm starting to think that quartet music is like the gospel or the church version of the mosh pit, where they just bounce on each other and do whatever. You think she was possessed, D? That's crazy. But yeah, I think quartet music is starting to look like the mosh pit. But you guys remember a couple of seconds ago, I was talking about how some people deem to be praise and worship to be, sacred, right? I want you guys to check this out. Tell me what you think.
Serve the glory and the honor. So we lift our hands. Stop. Pastor, how much authority do I have? Do I have authority? Okay. Now listen.
Me too, Jeremy. I've seen it too. I've seen it, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I've seen it.
One of the things that bothers me the most is when I try to get intimate with God and somebody's taking pictures of me.
I hate when we do that. I'm not going to stop it again, but I hate when we do that. Listen, can we stop saying get intimate with God? I mean, that's not what I would think we should be saying, to be honest with you. You say, I want to be intimate. Let's get intimate with him. What? You don't get intimate with God. I don't know where we get that from. But anyway, let's go.
Our goal is to know God. Oh, okay. To know God, You remember in the Bible when it says Adam knew his wife? Abraham knew Sarah. That, in other words, they had an intimate time together. Who's married? Is a married couple in here? Where? That's your wife with you right there? I'm talking, that's your wife? Oh, okay, now listen. When you and your wife are being intimate, I'm talking about intimate with your clothes off.
You can't make this up.
Do you want people taking pictures of you?
Can we agree that we need to retire that? That's creepy to me. Because now you've actually gone and you've said what you meant by being intimate. Because you conflated that with the intimacy that a man does with his wife. I don't want to have that kind of intimacy with God. I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, I'm sure when he said, I want to have that kind of intimacy with God, Jesus was like, wait, can we stop having this conversation? I don't want to be intimate with you. I just want you not to do the stupid stuff you've been doing for the last 30 years. Can you just do that? You don't need to be intimate with me. I don't need you putting posters and pictures up to me while you visit yourself in the bathroom. I don't need that type of intimacy. And this is not me. He just conflated that with his own wife or husband and a wife. Do you want people taking a picture of you when you being in? Bro, your drawers are not down. You don't have your sausage in your hand. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? Can we stop doing that? Things I want to be done, things the black church is going to get mad at me for saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. Can we get rid of being intimate, loving on him, daddy God, zaddy God? Can we get rid of those terms? Can we stop? Because I don't want to come to church and be freaked out. Like, it's a whole lot of such things happening. And for a man to say it, they already said nothing but gay men go to church. And they would be halfway true. But when you get up and you say, oh, we need to be intimate with him, like you being intimate with your husband and your wife, what the freak? What the falcon? What are we talking about here? I'm like, what in the world is going on? So you say that to me, I'm going to be on the base like,
you shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Don't talk to me about that stuff. We're just here to worship. Worship. Worship your name. Worship your name. We're here to do that. I'm not here to be intimate. Come on, grab your neighbor and touch your neighbor. Say, neighbor, let's get intimate with God.
What?
It makes no sense. It makes no sense. But something weird happened a couple of weeks ago. I hadn't had a chance to even discuss it. And it's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. My first major tour that I did that was important to me, and this is why it's major, may not be major to you, but it's major to me. I went overseas with Ricky Dillard, the first thing. I've told this story so many times, but I never told you what happened on the way home. We had been over there for a month, and we were ready to come home. So we're on the flight coming home. And the choir, the announcer says, we're now starting our descent into Chicago or whatever. So New G, the ones that went on this tour, started singing. They started singing on the plane because they was happy to be going home because we had been away from everybody for a month. We were eating McDonald's that didn't taste like our McDonald's. We were eating pommes frites and chicken and everything else. And we were ready to be home to Harold's and Uncle Remus and Kentucky Fried Chicken and our neighborhoods and our families and our friends. So New G started singing. And the people kind of liked it. They were joining in and everything. And even the stewardess and the people, they were happy-go-lucky. Oh, you guys are choir? You can sing, go ahead. And in that regard, it was okay. But this one person did not heed that. And this happened.
I'm starting right now on the billboard. I can sit down and I'll sit up there. I'll sit down, but the seatbelt signs off. The seatbelt signs off. It's not a disturbance. Once you hit. It's right here, babe. I am. You have a seat. Okay. So watch me bless him. So I used to sing on planes a long time ago. I just found out I'm up for 2 Grammys. My very first time, you guys. My name is Bobby Storm, and I'm up for 2 Grammys. I sing for the Lord, and my song is out on all platforms. It's called We Can't Forget Him. Michael McDonald cleared it. Warren G is on the original record as well. It's with Regulators. I want to share this with you guys. I wanted to do it when I first got on the plane, but I was like, I haven't done this in a while. I've gotten to the next status, but they're enjoying it. So while we're sitting here, could I please?
I'm not enjoying it. So I'm asking you, can you be quiet?
Okay, well,
That's a yes or no answer, please.
Am I going to go to jail if I don't?
Can you please answer my question? Are you willing and able to be quiet right now?
I'm doing what the Lord is telling me to do.
I'm asking you a question, yes or no. I'm your flight leader. I need you to follow my instruction.
Okay.
My instruction for you to answer my question. Are you able to be quiet?
What do you guys think?
I'm asking you, ma'am.
I'm asking you guys. What do you guys think?
Okay. If you're not able to follow my instruction, you will not be taking this flight.
Okay.
Are you able to be quiet?
If that's the case, then that's fine. If you were the
So that's
person in
yes.
charge of it all.
I'm your flight leader, yes.
If you were the person in charge of it all, then that's fine.
All right. Thank you.
So I'll sing it on the low for y'all in the back, if that's okay. All right. So the song is called We Can't Forget Him. All right. And you can download it. I don't know the issue. No one else has ever had an issue, but it's Father, I thank you for each day in my life. I realize I don't need anything. I need you by my side. Shine your light. I follow. Oh Lord, I try to pretend I can do without you, but I'll be out of my mind, doing things my way, losing faith, just living life blind. But I don't want this life no more. Oh Lord, regulate my mind, my heart and soul. I keep forgetting I've been through this before. I keep forgetting that this battle is not mine. It's you guys, for sure. Thank you guys. And Bobby, you're a what now? A 2-time Grammy nominated? Yes, just as of today, 2-time Grammy nominated with Maverick City, the Maverick Way. Thank you. Thank you.
First of all, ma'am, the way you put that out there shows me that you were doing a whole lot of things. You were doing what people like to do. We like to chase clout. We love clout. We love attention. And the man clearly told you. And Jeremy, I agree with you. But here's the thing. If they told the people from the Lion King to be quiet, they would. They would. But she was being very rebellious. She was being very disagreeable. She was out of order. She was everything. You want to know why? Because she's so used to getting her way. Ma'am, you personally were not nominated. Magic City was nominated. They were nominated, not you. And it had to be cleared up. No, I'm not even going to see that. But Billboard actually said, no, she's not being nominated. Magic City is being nominated. That's no different than me saying I'm being nominated for a Grammy for playing for New G. That's just dumb. You see my name, maybe, if they give credits anymore, as bass player. You may see me somewhere, if it's giving credit, as music director. But that will end it. Under no circumstances, they're going to call you up and say, well, Derek Hearne, come and get your Grammy, buddy. Let's everybody give Derek a round of applause. Come and get your Grammy. First of all, I want to thank God. I want to thank you because without him, this would not have happened. I've been playing the bass for a long time, and I just never imagined that they would single me out to give me this Grammy. Thank you. No, that's not the way this works. You get a Grammy, maybe. But it's last I checked, it's a lot of people in Magic City. So why would they give you a Grammy? Why? And so when I saw this, I said, ma'am, you are in Magic City. It was more people that sang on this record than you. Nobody cares about you. I didn't even know who this chick was until this happened. So you just did this to make a name for yourself, and it did not work out for you. Because now, I wouldn't want to deal with you, because as a producer, I already think that you're going to be a piece of work in my studio. And before I have it out with a Battletron, wouldn't want to deal with you. Nah, we don't do that over here. I'm so sick and tired of that. Nope. We don't allow people to live in their truth, because your truth is mostly our lie. Your truth is a lie to us. And here's the thing. You can live in your truth all you want until you start spreading your truth to me. So now once it comes this way, then no, I'm going to rebuff and refute all lies. You made these people think that you yourself in a singular moment was going to get a Grammy. Like if Magic City gets a Grammy, they're going to call you up and say, hoist you up on their shoulders and say, you're the queen, hip, hip, hooray. No, they're not going to do that. The people that are over Magic City, they're going to go up and get the awards. And that's going to be the end of it. But see, she's not the only current and former Maverick City member that has been in some scrutiny. Dante Bowe was on the Soul Train Music Awards, right? And he did a performance. And I'm not going to show the performance because it's definitely not showing that here. Definitely not showing that here. White lies are whole lies, bro. But I saw the performance myself, and my thing is this. I feel that sometimes as artists, we want to, and I think our commission is to reach the lost. We spend a lot of our time trying to reach church people. Well, some of them are lost, but I get it. We trying to reach the lost, so you have to kind of go where they are. I'm worried that as artists, we may try so hard to reach where they are that we forget where we are. We forget what we are and what we should represent. So it's going to be such a blurred line where people are going to look at you and not be able to differentiate between you and us. And that's my worry, that we become so busy trying to win them, and we give. We're doing this. And then people turn on the TV and they can't tell the difference between you and a Sexy Red. Because what I saw in some of his performance, some of the things that I saw, I was like, I get it. Trust me, I get it. And I'm with it. I'm believing I'm older, but I'm still progressive. I believe the church should move with the times to a certain degree. I don't think we should stay in tradition. That was the biggest thing that I took away from the Kojic Convocation. I didn't go live 2 weeks ago, so I didn't get a chance to speak on it. And I'm not going to do it now. But I saw a lot of traditionalism, whereas I'm not against tradition. But I just think we should be a little bit more progressive. We should move with the time because we're getting older. Believe it or not, I'm not young. I mean, I'm middle, I'm younger, but I'm not as young as I used to be. You know, you knocking on 50, you ain't young. You see what I'm saying? You still got strength to do things, but you can't do all the other things. And I think it's time for us to kind of shift this thing and allow, the younger people to start, appealing to them. And I think what we're doing, though, those of us who are trying to appeal to the young people and try to present something to them that they can grasp on as artists, I don't want us to go so far out there that people don't know what we represent. So if I look up at your set and I'm seeing chicks out here twerking with their butt cheeks hanging out the back of their pants, that's a little bit too much for me. Because now I'm wondering, I don't think that's the way. I don't mind you dancing. I don't mind us having choreography. I was told that some of his choreography was actually jacked from Beyonce. Everybody's jacking Beyonce. Yeah, them cheeks was out. That's what I'm saying, Harold. Them cheeks was out. And so that was my worry. I don't want us as artists, my fellow gospel artists, musicians, singers, whatever. My fear is that we try so hard to reach the lost that we become part of the lost, or In darkness, we can't see each other from the next. So we all like this because you've gone too far and that light has become so dim that you can't even see it anymore to find your way back. If you keep giving and giving and giving and giving to them, it will consume you because the more they love you, the more you will give. And the dimmer that light to the other side where you should be will get. And eventually, if you keep going further and further out, you're going to be in darkness with them and your light won't shine bright enough for them to consume you. They still won't consume you because your light has dimmed because you feel like if I'm too bright, I'll outshine them and I need to be on their level. They need to know that I'm touchable. And like I said, I'm kind of flipped. I understand we need to reach the lost. Just don't want us to go that far to do it. That's how I feel about that. And I feel passionate about that because as somebody that loves gospel music, loves church, I don't want us to be so. I love progression. I'm with the church that does darkness. Darkness that has the lights off and the stage going and the LEDs and the lights, and I'm okay with that. I am. That's progressive. That's where church is now. But I don't want us to become to the point where people on stage diving. Let's stage dive for Jesus. See, that's too far. So if Sexy Red can just sing your music and not feel convicted, that's not good. I think in the end, your music should bring, as his music, if you close your eyes, it did. It brought the second song. The first song was not Jesus. Second song was Jesus. He was saying Jesus, which is amazing to me because I know a lot of times they don't even like to say Jesus. I mean, I remember a few years ago where if you performed at the presidential ball, you couldn't even say Jesus. They didn't want you to say it. At least that's what was being spread. So I get it. I just don't want us to go too far. I just don't want us to go too far with that. Now, we're about to do a speed run. We're about to do a speed run like you ain't never seen it because this is the part where all these events that happened over the last week, 2 weeks that I've been out, we're going to run through these things real quick. First things first, Keke Palmer. Let me say this. I didn't say anything about this Keke Palmer thing, but I was silent about it because as you should wait until all the information comes out. You should wait until everything comes out from both sides. See, sometimes in our society, we look at, and when a woman says, hey, he abused me, we so quick to jump. But when he was saying, when it came out that she was abusive to him, it was silence. That's when the real silence happened. It happened when he said, or when it came out that she was putting her hands on him. That's a toxic situation. But for some reason, people were all up in arms when they thought he was putting his hands on her. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to prove it next week. I would argue that in 2023, there are more instances of men being abused than women. I would argue that. That is my argument. I'm going to prove it to you when I go live again. My argument that as far as physical abuse, men in 2023, we experience it on a higher level we experience it more than women do. I've seen it. I have the statistics. You can argue with Santa Claus until I get live next week. But everybody was silent when Keke Palmer, when it came out that he never said anything. But when it came out that he was abused, the silence was deafening. I mean, I don't have rats, but the rats in spirit, I can hear them pissing on cotton. It was so silent, not one of you said anything about it. But when you thought that he was putting hands on her, which I'm not saying he didn't, but we don't know the context. We got the screenshots, but we don't have a video. Which brings me to this other point that I'm going to talk about next week. Abuse is always, when men are abused, is silence. But when you are abused, you scream from the mountaintops and everybody believes you. And this year, if nothing has shown you, this year should have showed you that most of them are lying. Most of them are lying. Even when you're talking about the Diddy situation, even when you're talking about Diddy, Even when you're talking about him, now it's something else coming out about Diddy. He's accused in the third lawsuit. Somebody else is saying he sexually assaulted a woman. And in the comment section where I found this out, I knew something was up with him. I knew something was up with him. I knew something was up with him. Really? Now, I'm not saying he didn't do it. I'm not saying he didn't do it. I'm not. But something is amiss here because you can simply say he did it and everybody will believe it. I'm not saying he didn't. There are no court papers. Stop. Let me share this with you. Just because there's a police affidavit doesn't mean he did it. A police affidavit is not an admission of guilt. That's why we have court systems. A jury or a judge will say he's guilty. And then the civil case, there is no judgment. He actually settled out of court. We don't know. Now, I have my own reasons on why he settled out of court, possibly because he may have done it. But here's another thing. It's going to expose a lot of things that he doesn't want the public to know. He has to testify. He can't go into the civil court. In the civil court, they call you testify, you have to. Pleading the fifth in the civil court, that's not good for you. That's what happened to OJ. Pleading the fifth in the civil court, that's not good. So it's a lot of things that they were going to ask him, wild parties, sexual escapades, all this kind of junk that he probably did not want to go in the public. Now, that's just my opinion. Now, could he have done it? Absolutely, but we don't know. And so those of you who are saying, oh my God, he did do it. Oh, Diddy's a monster. You don't know that for sure. You don't know. I'm one of the few people even thinking that R. Kelly is very disgusting. I think what he did was disgusting. But I don't think he's guilty of all of it. But they threw all of it in. And I just don't want us to get to the point where we just automatically just believe somebody's doing something because we don't have the proof of it. You may be right, but you may be wrong. And I'm just saying, when it's a man saying she abused me, nobody believes it. Jonathan Majors said that woman was lying. I was the one being beaten. Nobody believed him. This man lost roles. He lost money. He lost all of that based off of something somebody said. And you found out that it wasn't true. But where is the apology? Did they lock her up? You can't make this up. You can't make it up. And then there was something else that happened. Everybody was talking about this. And everybody was saying a host of things. Now, we know she runs through men like water. We know it to be true. Let me say this. I'm going to say this. A lot of times when men say she belongs to the streets, it doesn't necessarily mean that she's a 304. It doesn't mean that all the time. A lot of times it means that she cannot be settled with one person, that she's incapable or unwilling to be with one person. She's belonging to everybody. She's not going to lock down with one person probably until she gets like 35, 36. That's what that simply means. It doesn't always say that she's out here having sex. Now, let me say this. You ain't getting up with Future and not them cheeks ain't being clapped. You get with Future, you better believe it's going to be. But everybody took her side. I mean, it was weird to me. Because this video that she posted surfaced and you guys ran with it.
Figure out what your non-negotiables are and don't ever waver on them. And I feel like oftentimes we as Black women feel like, especially when we get to a certain point in our life, we feel like we need to settle. We just feel like we need to rush to get into something because maybe we want to be married by a certain age, we want to have kids by a certain age. And I think that is not how we should view love at all. I think we need to always remember that we are the prize and set your standards high and don't ever settle.
So that started a whole crap storm of stuff in the comment section. One particular person got up here and said this. All I hear is you the prize. That's all I hear. That you the prize. That's what she heard. And so I said, oh, so you saying the prize, first of all, I'm trying to be nice, y'all. It's Thanksgiving. You know, we still full on turkey. I'm trying to be nice. But when I saw what she looked like, in what world are you the prize, ma'am? Now, this ain't nothing against big women. This is not nothing against big women. This is not. But I'm going to be honest because I got to keep it 100. If in this marketplace, your SMV is lower when you are bigger, that's not my rule. That's the rule. It's always been this way. You always want to change men. You can't change men. We find slim, thick women more attractive than bigger women on general. Not all of us, of course. There are some of us that don't mind it. But most men, especially as more successful they are, the more options a man has, he's going to want to choose the best. And in no world would you, being 300 pounds, be the best for a man that worked his whole life to build himself up to be successful. And now you come telling me I'm the prize. To who? To who? See, this is the problem because you being taught that no matter what, I'm the best. No matter what, everything's good. No matter what, I'm beautiful. No matter what. That's not true. That's just like men coming out and saying, no matter what, I'm wealthy. You got $3 in your bank account with a bill coming through tomorrow. In what world are you successful or wealthy? Reality will show you how beautiful you are. Beautiful women have rich men, wealthy men, well-known men in their inbox or at them all of the time to marry them. Not to clap cheeks. No. But you tell yourself, I'm the prize, even though reality shows you're not. You tell yourself you the prize, but every man you get dealt with leaves you. Prized women, men do not leave. They stay because they see you as a prize. They're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. So when I see this, and women in that comment section that was saying, I went to their pages. I want to see what you look like while you talking this. And here it goes back to what Brother KS said. Most of you are average. A lot of you are under average. How dare you move in the sexual marketplace like you got leverage? You don't. That's no different than broke men moving in the market like they got leverage. The difference is there is no singing kumbaya to broke men. You're okay in this market. You get what you deserve. I deserve a woman that's submissive. I deserve that because I work to get it. I position myself to get what I want out of this market. I'm realistic about the women I can pull, but trust me, my choices, they ain't bad. They ain't bad at all. So you move around in this market like you are the shiznit, like the S-hit, like the caca, the miera, all of that. You move in this market like you that. It makes no sense to me. So I'm sitting up here and then I'm like, seeing this silverback tell me that you are the prize, it angered me to a degree. Because we, as men, this is what we deal with. Oh yeah, I saw that too. That was the most ridiculous Kendra G. If we talking about the same thing. That was Kendra G. It was horrible. Now, I saw one post that said Lori is always taking out the garbage. Now, I love her, so I'm certainly not going at her, but I will address this statement. What garbage are we talking about here? Michael B. Jordan was on the top of his game. Michael B. Jordan was on the top of his game when they got together. So was this other dude, damsel in distress. I call him damsel in distress because he put himself in this mode. Every person she gets with, she's like a praying mantis. Now, to my students in the class, could you please tell me what happens to the male mantis after he copulates with the female mantis? Could you please tell me, sir? Tell me what happens to the fellow chap. Tell me. You want to know? I'm going to tell you real good. You ready? She bites his head off. She bites his head off. She kills them. She kills their careers. They suffer. And you want to know why? Because if you look, run a search. Those of you on your smartphones, right? I'll allow you to come back. Pull up your iPad. Run a search on Michael B. Jordan with Lori Harvey and tell me what pictures you see. Don't worry about it. I did it for you. I did it for you. In almost every picture, you see them pawning after her, laying up on her, giving her all the attention. They all up on her in every instance. In almost every instance, you see very little of her doing any of this to them. Damsel in distress, all this pawning over her. You lowered yourself for this woman. And a lot of the women, they celebrating this because they will never get a man of high value to do this for them, to put himself in this position like this. As men, I would be okay if we did it to each other. But under no circumstances, men, should you be pawning over no woman like this, especially if she's been with everybody else. That's me saying this. If she's been with everybody else, especially men of lower value than you, under no circumstances do you be caught in a camera pawning over her like that. Period. I'm not saying you can't love on her, but you got to check this. If all the cameras picking up is you on her and not the other way around, you can't really find no pictures where she's doing any of this, biting on his chin, all up on him. You won't find those pictures. Yet you got these men all up on her. Who's the man over here? My woman would do that to me. You be like, you come on, give me some space. You can't make this up. And what does this do? What does it do? It fuels the lower value women thinking that they can move around in this market like Lori Harvey. Lori Harvey, with or without makeup, is beautiful. Without makeup, she's beautiful. Like, period. If there's ever a 9-10, she's definitely that. Now, because she's in her early 20s. She's in her mid-20s now, probably pushing her late. But give it some years, it's gonna come. Oh yeah, the wall is undefeated. The wall is undefeated. I keep telling y'all that. The wall is undefeated. So it's going to come. And then she's going to join the likes of Vivica Fox and Lisa Ray and all, and Taraji Henson, who had something to say. But this, when you listen to this and you consume this, you listen to what she say, and then the men, we have to look at this.
I just want you guys to know, there's no way that I'm gonna date a man that makes under $200K a year. That don't even make no sense. I'm not trying to struggle. I can struggle by myself, okay? Why would I want to struggle with a man? So if you're not making $200K, you can't date me. You trying to date me? I only date millionaires, baby. Like, you better get it right. Too many times you had it wrong. Don't be in my inbox. Working where? Where you work? That's the only question I got. Where you work?
You can't make this shift up. Fellas, this is what they think we deserve. This is what they think you deserve. So broke average men working, blue collar men making $40,000, $50,000 a year, you don't stand a chance with a woman like this. You don't. And it ain't the only one. It ain't the only one. Because this resonates with a lot of women.
You want a man to come in, take on excess responsibility, meaning he's paying the majority of the bills in a long-term relationship with you.
I didn't say he has to pay all the bills now. He could do 75%.
But then in return, he doesn't get any exchange of authority. So in that scenario, when you have excess responsibility without the corresponding authority that goes with that responsibility, that is a definition of slavery. It's free labor.
It's not, because if they chose to do that free labor, that's on them. If they chose to, if this man voluntarily pays my bills, that's on him. I didn't ask for you to pay my bills. I kept
But you did, though. That's the thing.
I didn't say he has to pay all the bills now. He could do 75%.
That's asking him to pay the bills.
So now I got to picture out a long-term relationship with y'all, because y'all getting on my nerves.
Hold on. Let's go and stop this here. Listen. So this is a show. You can't handle it, get the fuck out. It's that simple. This is a panel. What's happening to you right now is going to happen to every other girl here at some point. It just happens the spotlight's on you right now. Okay. Have a nice evening. You can send in your live chats at Who Hurt You.
You can't make this up. You can't make this shift up. This is the message that it sends. This is what it sends. It has these people looking like that, below average women moving in the market like she deserves a man to pay 75% of her bills. Because they listen to consume this whole notion that you are the prize. So fellas, that's your prize. An old, out of shape woman with somebody else's kids telling you got to work your butt off to pay all the bills. That's your prize. That's what you got to look forward to. It makes, and no wonder lately these men been saying to me, I don't even want a relationship. Do you know how many men been saying that to me? I don't want a relationship because they crazy. Now, I don't agree with the crazy part. That's too far. But I can kind of understand their sentiment. You know, when you got women out here telling you, you got to pay the bills, you got to do all of this, you got to do all of that, you got to do all of this. You got to take me to a 5-star restaurant. When you a hood bandit, we need to be taking you to Harold's, but you talking about you won't go to the Cheesecake Factory. So finally, we take you to a 5-star restaurant and this happens.
She said she doesn't need a Cheesecake Factory, so I took her to a 5-star restaurant and she did this emoji exploding head.
One. I was a little hungry.
I was so embarrassed and disgusted emoji face vomiting.
You gonna finish out? All right.
I wish you would do that to me first date. I wish you would. It makes it, the crazy thing, one of the last men that I spoke with, he said something and it's crazy to me that it was said. It's crazy to me that it was said. It was actually pretty bad that this had to be said. And he said he would rather go get an escort than pay all that money for a bill. And you know me, I looked. Wait, no, not that. This. I looked. Escorts. I looked up the rates. They said these bills take me out, right? $400-$500 for a date. When a man just really, he may just want sex. Well, here we go. 1/2 hour, $200. For a whole hour, $300. So, and of course, it went up and went up, 2 hours or whatever. Right? You can get them to come to your home. So what is the point? If I gotta pay $500, why can't I just get an escort? That was his mode. Now, some of you be like, well, Derek, are you advocating for getting escorts? Absolutely not. But last I checked, a lot of you been around the block anyway. So how dare you come at a man talking about paying for sex when you've had sex with the whole band? You've had sex with people who had slept with everybody else in the church. Your name is mud out here. So if this is you, you know you've been around this block in your skateboard or whatever your mode of transportation was, you need to sit this conversation out. Because you're no different than the escort that he can buy. The only difference between you and the escort is that the escort doesn't come with any baggage or drama. They go home. You didn't like that. That stunk. I understand. But it's the reality. We would rather deal with an escort that we pay money to. We don't got to take them out. We ain't got to make conversation. We ain't got to worry about no attitudes or nothing like that. They come, they do what they got to do. They into us, even though we know it's acting, but they into us. They listen to us for the hour, whatever long you want to have them, and they go home. No drama. When the dude said that to me, I was flabbergasted because I was at church. I was at church when he said it. I was at church. You can't make it up. I sometimes think that when we start talking about escorts, it offends people because they like, oh God, you got to pay for sex. And I get it, but you're going to pay one way or another. I'm not advocating for escorts. I'm just saying, you're going to pay one way or another. You got women out here talking about, you need to take me to a 5-star restaurant and everything else. I just don't understand the way we think with this whole dating thing. I saw a couple of posts that was crazy. This woman says this, celibacy is easy. Well, Brenda, I understand that, but I'm giving you a perspective. I mean, no offense, but grieving you, that may be something you may need to deal with, ma'am, because that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to give you information. I'm here to give you information. I share what's told to me, and I put it in a perspective that you can digest. Now, there's two ways you can deal with it. You can take it, you can run with it, and you can make changes to make your situation better, or you can, you don't have to listen to me. And I get it, and I will understand. I'm not trying to be mean, but that's just the reality. Men speak, and a lot of times we speak and you don't want to listen. And then when you get the results that you don't want, now it's like, oh, men are wrong, or we're dogs, or we're this. I'm only here to give you information. That's my only mode. I think I've been experiencing what Kevin Samuel's been experiencing. Like, people don't like what he had to say. But the ones that put his stuff and applied it, they got better results. So whereas I sympathize, but I can't stop giving the information. I can't stop doing that. I need to share the information because what's been, if I was to be Derek Jackson and pander, that has not been helping you. If I be Derek Jackson and I tell you it's all the man's fault and he ain't this and he ain't that, that's not been helping you. But if I tell you, this is what the men are saying, the men that you want, this is what they want, I would say, move with the market. If you want a man of a certain caliber, then you want to do what he would want from you, what he desires from a woman he decides to be his mate. Now, if you want to be honest, most men like me, I'm the kind of person that if I'm with you, I'm with you. I'm going to do for you. You're going to know you're going to get done for. I'm going to do for you. You will never have to worry about anything. And a lot of men that I know, they are like that, but they're just frustrated by what we've been presented with in the market. It's really that simple. And I feel personally that it's because of the stuff that they consume on here. It's the stuff that they consume on the social media. So when men start to speak, that feeling that you feel may not be grief. It may be cognitive dissonance because you're hearing something that's resonating. But some of us, and I'm not talking to you specifically, Brenda, but some of you, you're feeling this feeling. But what you're feeling is something that you need to address. These are changes you need to make. Maybe these changes I need to make, and not just say, I'm going to do it. You need to start doing it to improve your place in the dating market. And that's pretty much where I stand with that. But she says celibacy is easy when you realize these men don't even deserve to touch you. Now, was the same feeling of grief spent when I posted this in a woman's group? You see the name of this woman's group. We don't deserve to even touch you. So men, we got to consume this. And make no mistake, we've been consuming it for 40 years. We've been consuming this for 40 years. And so when I saw the Lori Harvey thing, I said, this is more of the same. And the thing is, they threw out everything under the sun. Let me share something with you, and this is going to help you. There's this thing called the law of equivalent exchange. This could be applied to the dating market as well. The object or goal the person will trade for must have an equal value of what the person trades with. See, unfortunately, in the dating market, as it relates from a male perspective, we're giving you provision and protection. We give you everything that you want. But what we seeing is not the same value that you want from us. We're not interested in your degrees. We're not interested in your money because we can't spend it. We're not interested in that. The first thing a man is interested in is your physical attractiveness meter. That's what we see first. Everything else comes after that, obviously. But initially, that's what we see first. And a lot of times with men, especially black men, what we see first is not what we find appealing right away. It's not what we find appealing right away. That's honest to God truth. What we see. And it's what you allowed. You allowed social media to tell you can come out with fire orange hair and it's the greatest thing in the world. That's not true. You've allowed social media to tell you no matter what, you are perfect. It's not true. Not in this market. You got to understand the market. That's all I'm saying. You got to understand the market. The market is different. Overall, you have value. Your marketplace value is what men see you. And somebody came on here before and said, well, we make our own value. No, you don't. In no market does the producer determine what the consumer finds valuable. The consumer is the one that determines an object's or something's value. And if we say you're not valuable, guess what? You're not. The same way, if you don't find tall men, successful men valuable, that's the marketplace. And either men, we're going to either rise to it or we're going to go and get somebody on our level. So, but anyway, it's something else I wanted to touch on. Yeah, somebody else touched on something, and they brought up commons, women, and all this other stuff, and they always try to. I wish another thing I want y'all to stop doing, ladies. Don't compare your sexual. Don't compare that to men. We're not the same. Nowhere in history have men ever been deemed less valuable by the number of women we've been with. Nowhere in history. I don't make the rules. That's just the reality. I don't make that rule. And it kind of hurts you to say, well, men do it, so I could go out here and do it too. Let me show you something. They said Terrell Owens and Chad Ochocinco had a sit down and they talked. And they said in this podcast that they had slept with at least 17 women in 12 hours. They did that before. Now, I'm still trying to figure out how this happened. You must have started having sex at about 5 in the morning. or you know what I mean, just started just smashing. I personally can't see that, but it happens. It happened to them. And women was like, see, they're not valuable. They're not valuable. There's no way they can get, no. Let me show you Ocho Cinco's wife. This Ocho Cinco's wife. This is his wife. And this is T.O.'s. You may say to him, she's look good. To me, you know, whatever. It's never affected us, ladies. It never affects us. It affects you. Why? Because men find value in youth, fertility, and beauty. That's what we find value in. It brings me to this post. And I'm going to get out of here, but brings me to this post. Where is that? Dang, where is it? Here it is. This is a post that I saw today. Men, M blankers out here dating little girls to avoid grown women pressure. When I saw this, I said, Lord, I understand kind of what you meant by grown women pressure, but for men to see pressure, when we see that word pressure, that's bad for us. We don't like that word pressure because we don't want any more pressure. You're gonna see me doing some editing. We don't want more pressure. We don't. We don't want more pressure. We want things to flow. We deal with pressure all day. When we come home, we want peace. We don't want pressure from anything else. So if we take on somebody we want to live the rest of our life with, we don't want pressure. We want peace. And if being with you brings any pressure, even the word is a red flag, we're just assuming we're not going to deal with it. That's it. We'd rather not deal with it. We'd rather not deal with it. And so, what are you saying? To me, when I read this by this dude, because I think a dude posted, the first thing came to my mind is,
Does he think I'm a fart head?
you must think that I'm a fart head. In no world. This is something that older women say when they're over the hill, when the wall has hit. Honestly. When the wall has hit, when you've lost that thing that you used to have where you're not getting as many looks and your choices have dwindled because you've wasted your youth. Now you are attacking younger women and calling them little girls. But when older men approached you when you were younger, you were okay with it. You were okay with the pressure. You were okay with older men approaching you when you were 25 and 26, some of you 23. You don't ring. I mean, for crying out loud, I don't see nobody ringing the bell when you go to the strip club. What age do you think those women are? When have you ever said anything about the women or the men that go to the strip club? No, they need to make that money. So at what point are you talking about here? Now, personally, I don't go for younger women. That's just not my thing, but there are men who do. And I found that these successful, especially the rich men, they go for younger women. That's just the way it's always been. Always. But now we got the old hags out here saying, you know, oh, you like them young girls. Because they're no longer choosing you because you're older. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? No matter how many times you say that in front of the mirror, it's not going to change the fact that you're not fair when you're older. You're not fair when you're gained a few pounds. You're not fair when you're carrying and had somebody else's kids. You may be fair, but you're not the fairest of the land. The fairest of the land are the ones who are younger, more beautiful, and contrary to popular belief, men choose younger women because they're easy to get on their program. They don't come with a lot of experience. I wish, oh God in heaven, please stop saying that. Please. Please stop saying you more experienced. We don't want to hear that. That's not good for us. That's a raw deal for us. That's a raw deal. For most men, when we say, oh God, we're more experienced, we don't care about that. Will you be submissive? That's that word that you hate so much. So when I saw this post, I said, oh God, little girls. And this shows that you don't mind shooting shots at younger women. As long as you're right? You can't make this up. Now, I'm switching gears here. I'm gonna switch some gears here because I'm gonna leave you talking about my musician friends. I have to. Oh wait, let me do this before I move on. Don't play with the good woman, because when she play back at you, you won't be able to sleep. I'm gonna judge this real quick. This is gonna be the quickest one. If she was a good woman, like she say, he wouldn't ever play games like that. A lot of you come into the market think you much better than what you really are. We know what value is, and we usually work our tails off to stay with you when we see your value. And stop putting what we do with our little male member, that doesn't necessarily always equate to us loving you. I can go a long way on that. I've covered it so many times, but y'all be wanting marriage-minded men to act like husbands, but right off rip, but we got to work for you to be submissive. I told somebody today, that's what I want off rip. I want submission. I'm not going to work for that. What I should work for, some of you give up on the first date. That's the problem I'm having. You give us the skins first date. We take you to Pound Town first date. But for your submission, which is what you should be exhibiting right away, we got to work for. I don't understand that crowd. But anyway, let me go to my musicians. I love my musicians. But I saw this post and I need to cover it. Anybody can bump, but hymns take skill. I hate when we do this. I hate when we do this, musicians. Stop doing this. No, it don't take skills to learn hymns. It just take you the ability to learn them. And the problem is with a lot of black churches, y'all expect musicians to come in and learn 1,000 hymns. That's impossible. That's what rehearsal is for. That's what rehearsal is for. You send the songs to the musicians and you say, hey, learn these hymns. This is what we're going to be doing. This is in our repertoire. And you add to them. You add to them weekly or whatever, or bi-weekly, or however you add to them. Now you're building up a library for your musician staff to say, these are the hymns we like to do. These are the hymns. Maybe when you hire them, this is the list of hymns that we would like you to know. This is what we do for communion. This is what we do for whatever. You can do that. It doesn't take skill to play hymns. It just takes an ability to learn. If we can learn music that's like fusion, we can learn those hymns. And the problem is, y'all be wanting us to learn those hymns like note for note. Then you need to hire musicians that can read music. You can do that. But I hate that. It was a hymn that was sung by Bishop. And thank God Bishop not like that. He didn't trip. He just kept singing it. He was like, I'm going to sing this song. Bishop was like, I'm going to sing this song, God dog it. But at the end of the day, he didn't trip because of musicians, because I'm Kojic. And I didn't know what he was singing. I've never heard this song a day in my life. But he sang it anyway. God bless him. It's not our job to know every hymn. It's impossible for us to know all the hymns. Because that would be the equivalent of me going to a church from another culture and they get mad because I don't know all the CCM songs. It's unfair. This is a ridiculous argument. Stop doing it. Now, that's a point. They don't want to pay musicians that can read. They don't want to pay that kind of money for musicians. Now, let me close. I'm closing now. This is a post I left today. I was very aggravated. I'm sick of my musician friends going at gay men all the time. They're not. One thing I can say, being around homosexual men a lot in my life, in my career, I play gospel music. So you're going to see it. One thing I've seen is I played in gospel music with homosexual men, right? Pause. Pause, super pause. But none of them have ever bothered me. They don't go out their way to bother you. They don't go out their way to bother you. They sing, they hang with their own crew, and they go out the way. I'm in a couple of musician groups, and I promise you, they go out their way to go at homosexual men. They posting pictures and everything else about them. And you wake up in the morning thinking about gay men, I'm side-eyeing the hell out of you. They don't bother you. But one thing I've seen y'all musicians be talking about young women, I remember I was in Milwaukee, and they was talking about this man dealing with young women, right? And we ain't talking about young women like 21, 18. We talking like, it was a situation that happened. We were talking about somebody messing with somebody that was like 12, 13 years old. This musician said to me, well, as long as there's grass on the playing field, there's a pervasive problem with our musicians. And some of your well-known musicians had this problem dealing with young women, young girls, 13, 14, 15 years old. You a grown aspiration man. I'm talking grown, and you in the inbox of a girl that's 15 freaking years old. I don't care what she look like. I don't care what clothes she wear. She's 15, 14 years old. You have no business in her inbox, but you do it. So whereas you are not gay, my brothers, so you say, and I'm gonna get there. You may not say you gay, and I get it, but you surely, it's so many instances where some of you, a lot of you have dealt or tried to deal with young 14, 15-year-old girls. But it's not something that you want to talk about. Do you see homosexuals posting about you and that? No. The only time they will ever do that is if you on a S list or it reaches the public like it did. And I'm not going to, Preachers Gone Wild is not about that. I'm not going to bring up somebody's criminal stuff like that. Not unless he goes live and discusses it. Stay away. Then you may make it to Preachers Gone Wild. But I just don't understand this logic. Now, and I'm gonna close really with this. Start bringing the offering trays around. We hold offering last at our church. A homosexual friend of mine that sings in one of the groups that I played for quite a few times, sent me an inbox and he said, and I'm paraphrasing, I appreciate what you do. You actually defend. I don't say I defend, I just see what's right and right. I just don't like the way my constituents go with homosexual groups that they would want to play for. But the one thing he said that kind of made my antennas shoot up, maybe when he said that, I was like, oh no, good night. It's time to go to bed. When he said that a lot of these musicians be getting dome dropped on them by these same gay dudes. When he said that, that's a plot twist like no other. That's a plot twist that none of y'all saw coming. Some of y'all musician friends out here getting done up by gay dudes. And just because you don't put it in the bread baskets, thanks to Larry Reed, you don't put it in the bread baskets. You think because you letting them do you, that don't make you gay. No, that makes you gay too. And we ain't talking about the ones that met the wide World Wide Web. We talking about the ones you think ain't on the World Wide Web. And he sent receipts. I think Kevin knows that I have these receipts. He knows I have these receipts. So if I'm you, some of you, I wanted you to tread very lightly. Tread as lightly as you possibly can through these parts. Because one day, Some of y'all gonna start ticking my brothers off, and they gonna start posting these see videos I didn't get, but I surely got the text messages. I'm not gonna tell you what they said, but I surely got the text messages. Y'all need to be careful. Just be careful. And that, I think that's probably another reason why I'm so adamant about it, because y'all be tripping. And I don't like talking Ebonics, and it comes out. I'm from Gary. But y'all be tripping. Y'all go at them. You run searches for gay dudes so you can post to be funny, but secretly you getting dome dropped by them? I wonder how this is going to resonate in these groups now. When you find out that some of your musician friends out here getting done up by gay dudes. That's why they so adamant about it, because you wrestling with it. Just come on out with the rest of them. I'm not going to judge you. I'm surely not. I would rather you do that than to constantly go at them when secretly you know what's happening. And it is, first of all, I'm not deep like that, pause. But it is something that you're dealing with that you need prayer for, you need therapy for, or whatever, because whatever it is causing you to exert that negative energy out into the atmosphere because it's something you are internally wrestling with. And you need to get that out your system. But me, I'm sick of y'all doing that. And whereas I'm honoring my word to my friend not to expose you, I'm telling you, you better be very, very, very careful. You shouldn't do that to people. They don't bother you. And these are the people with the receipts. See, for them to put it out doesn't mean nothing. Everybody gonna be like, oh, we already knew this already. But it's to you. Like the same ones that's out here trying to hide the fact that you secretly trying to get up with 13 and 14, 15-year-old girls. When you are caught, the news don't care. And neither does the Department of Corrections. They're going to post your picture up. You have to register as a sex offender, and they're going to be posting your junk all up everywhere. Thank God I never did that. Thank God I wasn't that. My mind didn't let me go there with anything. I didn't even think about it. I'm not attracted to babies. So I love you in Jesus' name. I love you in Jesus' name. So it was a spin. I've been gone 2 weeks. Y'all knew I was gonna bring a flex. Y'all knew it was gonna happen. I dropped this bomb really good on you. And now some of y'all, you sweating bullets bigger than footballs because you know you guilty. Sweat those bullets. I hope the purgeness of the Holy Spirit come through your bedroom and come tell you, thou son, shut the hell up. Don't talk about them. I hope that it does. I hope that it brings trembling and fear to you. So before you post something stupid in the group, thinking it's funny for clout, you will say, wait a minute, a gay dude sucked my balls. And the word of the Lord is already blessed.